Hello, friends. Welcome to Easy English Official. Today, I want to share a story about how I stay motivated to learn English every day. It will help you find simple ways to enjoy learning and never give up. I remember when I first started learning English. It was very difficult. I often felt confused and tired. Sometimes, I wanted to quit completely. Reading English books was hard. I did not understand many words. Listening to songs or watching movies was even harder. I felt slow and unsure of myself. I thought, maybe English is too difficult for me. I felt small and worried. I compared myself to others who seemed perfect. But then, I decided to try again. I wanted to understand English better. When I watched movies or listened to songs, I often missed many words. It made me feel slow and unsure. So I decided to make a big change. I started with small steps. I read one simple sentence every day. I wrote it down and repeated it. Slowly, my vocabulary began to grow. Listening also became fun. I listened to simple songs and repeated them. At first, I could not remember the words. But I did not give up. I found motivation in little things. Every time I learned a new word, I felt proud. Every time I understood a sentence in a movie, I smiled. Small successes kept me going. I also set daily goals. Today, I will learn 3 new words, I said. Goals helped me stay focused. They gave me a sense of achievement. Sometimes I made mistakes. I mispronounced words or forgot them. But I reminded myself, mistakes are part of learning. Each mistake helped me improve. I joined online classes. Meeting other learners helped me feel less alone. I shared my struggles and successes with friends. It made learning more exciting. I also created a routine. Every morning, I spent 15 minutes reading English. Every evening, I listened to a short story. Repetition made learning easier. Music was very helpful. I listened to English songs every day. Singing along made learning fun. I could remember words more easily this way. Watching videos was another tool. I chose simple English videos. I watched them carefully and took notes. Sometimes I watched the same video 3 times to understand better. I learned to celebrate small victories. I said, I can do this, when I remembered a word. I cheered for myself when I finished a story. Positive words kept my motivation high. Sometimes, I felt tired or lazy. But I reminded myself why I started. I wanted to speak English confidently. I wanted to enjoy movies and books. I also wrote a journal in English. At first, I wrote simple sentences. Then, I tried longer sentences. Writing every day improved my grammar and vocabulary. I set rewards for myself. After learning a difficult word, I allowed myself a small treat. It made studying fun. Motivation increased every day. I found inspiration in stories of others. Many people learned English later in life. They succeeded because they did not give up. Their stories encouraged me to continue. I learned to use English in daily life. I spoke to myself in English while cooking. I labeled objects in my room in English. Using English made it real and practical. Sometimes, I felt nervous speaking to others. But I remembered my progress. Every sentence I said made me stronger. Confidence grew little by little. I joined online groups. We practiced English together every day. Sharing ideas and learning tips helped me stay motivated. I realized I was not alone in my journey. I set long-term goals too. I wanted to finish a book in English. I wanted to watch a full movie without subtitles. These big goals gave me direction. I divided big goals into small steps. Step by step, I improved. Every small success built my confidence. Learning became less scary. I used flashcards for vocabulary. Every day, I added 3 new words. I reviewed old words regularly. Repetition made words stick in my memory. I practiced speaking every day. Sometimes I recorded my voice. Listening to myself helped me correct mistakes. Speaking became easier and more natural. I learned to enjoy mistakes. If I mispronounced a word, I laughed. I reminded myself, mistakes are normal. Laughing kept learning fun. I also learned to be patient. Progress is slow sometimes. But I remembered, slow progress is still progress. Patience helped me continue every day. I read English comics and simple books. Stories made learning enjoyable. I could understand characters and follow plots. Reading became one of my favorite activities. I watched videos with subtitles. I listened carefully while reading subtitles. This method improved listening and reading at the same time. It also increased my vocabulary. I created a learning corner at home. I put English books, flashcards, and notebooks there. Every time I saw it, I remembered to study. A special place made learning routine and fun. I talked to myself in English during the day. I described my actions or thoughts. Speaking aloud built confidence. I felt less afraid to speak to others. I followed motivational English accounts online. They shared tips and stories every day. Their posts inspired me to continue learning. I felt connected to a global community. I made learning English a habit. I practiced at the same time every day. Habits made studying automatic. Motivation became easier to maintain. I joined challenges. Learn 10 words in 10 days, for example. Completing challenges made me proud. It also made learning exciting. Sometimes, I struggled with motivation. I felt tired or bored. But I reminded myself of my dreams. Motivation comes from remembering why you started. I used rewards wisely. After completing a chapter, I enjoyed a favorite snack. After a week of practice, I watched an English movie. Rewards kept me motivated. I found a study partner. We encouraged each other every day. We corrected mistakes together. Studying with friends made learning more fun. I listened to English podcasts every day. Stories, news, or lessons helped me practice listening. My comprehension improved. Daily listening became a habit. I tracked my progress. I marked completed lessons in a notebook. Seeing my improvement made me proud. Motivation grew every day. I learned to be consistent. Even 10 minutes every day mattered. Consistency beats motivation sometimes. Small daily steps create big results. I remembered that learning is a journey, not a race. Every small step counts. Progress is more important than speed. I tried different methods. Reading, listening, speaking, writing, games. Variety kept learning interesting. I never got bored. I visualized my success. I imagined speaking English confidently. I imagined understanding movies without subtitles. Visualization kept me motivated. I learned to forgive myself. If I missed a day, I did not worry. Tomorrow was a new chance. Self-kindness kept me motivated. I celebrated achievements. Learning 100 new words felt amazing. Reading my first English book felt amazing. Celebrating success builds motivation. I learned that passion matters. When you enjoy learning, motivation comes naturally. English became a fun adventure. Curiosity kept me moving forward. I reminded myself of the benefits. Speaking English opens doors. It allows travel, friends, and work opportunities. Motivation grows when you know why you learn. I joined online communities. We shared tips and stories. Seeing others' progress inspired me. Motivation multiplied when shared. I learned to focus on effort, not results. Even small effort matters. Every minute of practice counts. Motivation grows from action. I created a study schedule. Daily routine, weekly review, monthly goals. Structure made learning clear. Motivation was easier with a plan. I wrote daily reflections. Today I learned. Tomorrow I will. Reflection tracked progress. Motivation grows when you see success. I practiced speaking with strangers. Online calls, friends, neighbors. Speaking became easier every day. Confidence and motivation increased together. I combined learning with fun. Songs, games, movies, comics. Learning English became enjoyable. Motivation stayed high when it was fun. I challenged myself every week. Today, I will learn something new. Challenges kept learning exciting. Motivation grew with every success. I reminded myself of my dream. Speaking English fluently was my goal. Every step brought me closer. Motivation comes from vision. I learned to be patient with myself. Learning takes time. Mistakes are part of progress. Motivation comes with kindness and patience. I made learning social. Talking, sharing, laughing in English. Social learning is motivating. Motivation comes from interaction. I learned to measure progress. Small words, short sentences, longer sentences, full stories. Step by step. Motivation grows when progress is visible. I celebrated every improvement, even small ones. Confidence builds motivation. Motivation builds consistency. I shared my story. I stay motivated every day. Others were inspired. Sharing increases accountability and motivation. I embraced curiosity. Asking questions, exploring new topics. Curiosity keeps learning alive. Motivation comes naturally. I visualized my future. Confidently speaking, reading books, traveling. Motivation comes from seeing the goal. I stayed positive. Encouraging words daily. Motivation grows in positive environments. I tracked small wins. Every new word learned. Every sentence spoken. Motivation builds gradually. I celebrated milestones. First story understood. First movie watched. Motivation grows with achievement. I learned to enjoy the journey, not just the result. Learning became a daily joy. Motivation became a habit. I faced challenges daily. Some words difficult, some grammar tricky. Overcoming small challenges increases motivation. I practiced gratitude. Thankful for learning every day. Motivation grows when grateful. I reminded myself, every day counts. Learning is cumulative. Motivation grows with each day. I surrounded myself with support. Friends, teachers, online groups. Motivation grows with encouragement. I stayed consistent, even on tired days. Consistency beats motivation sometimes. Habits create results. I reflected weekly. What worked? What didn't? Reflection keeps learning efficient. Motivation grows with progress. I imagined my success. Speaking fluently. Traveling, chatting, learning. Motivation grows with imagination. I stayed focused. Avoid distractions. Motivation grows with focus. I kept learning fun. Music, games, stories. Motivation grows with enjoyment. I celebrated each success. Small wins every day. Motivation builds momentum. I remembered my dream. Fluent English. Travel, career, friends. Motivation stays strong when you remember why. I faced challenges positively. Mistakes are lessons. Motivation grows with a positive mindset. I embraced daily practice. Even 10 minutes. Motivation grows with habit. I never gave up. Every day is progress. Motivation grows with persistence. Learning English every day is a journey, not a race. Motivation comes from small steps, consistency, curiosity, and celebrating progress. When you make it fun and practical, every day brings improvement. You can stay motivated too.